Welcome back to Cooking Canines in Chaos. Today we are trying a recipe that was my mother-in-law's. It is rhubarb crunch, but in true chaos fashion. We're going to throw in a curveball because we had some fresh raspberries in our garden. We're going to incorporate some raspberries into this recipe.
So I have all of my ingredients here ready to go. So this over here, I've got a cup of water, a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to boil that until it's clear, so we'll do that in a minute here. And then we have the crunch part, which is going to be a cup of flour, a cup of brown sugar, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a cup of melted butter, and 3/4 of a cup of oatmeal. And then kind of for the fruity rhubarby part, we've got 3 cups of rhubarb, 1 cup of raspberries. The raspberries are a curveball, so if you only had rhubarb, it'd be 4 cups of rhubarb. So here is where I have my sugar, water, cornstarch, and vanilla mixture. And basically we're just gonna wait for the sugar and the cornstarch to dissolve, and then it'll go clear once it reaches a certain temperature, and then we'll take it off the heat. So while my sugar water mixture is getting up to a boil, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make the crunch part of this. So this is where I have like my sugar, flour, oatmeal, and then I'm gonna dump in my melted butter here and give it a mix. And just mix until combined. Okay, it's gonna look like that. So I know I mentioned at the start of this that we were gonna boil until clear, but our vanilla is not clear because we use pretty good Madagascar vanilla. So it's got that kind of authentic brown color. So we're never gonna have clear, so we're just going to, it's boiling here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off of the heat. Okay, so now I'm gonna let that sit there. And while it kind of cools off for just a minute, I'm gonna take about 2/3 of this crunch mixture and put it in the bottom of a pre-greased pan. So this is greased with butter. You could grease with Crisco or whatever you like. I think butter tastes the best. And we're just gonna kind of pat this down to create a crust on the bottom. Okay, so then we're gonna take our fruit. So I've got my rhubarb, and then I've got my cup of raspberries. So I still have about 1/3 of my mixture over here. I'm going to take my, I'm going to call it like simple syrup. That's kind of what it is. And I'm going to pour it over the top of my fruit. Just kind of trying to evenly distribute it here. In the oven it goes. So, like I mentioned when I put it in, I thought it would probably take a little bit less time. So instead of the hour, it took about 50 minutes. I checked on it. It was brown, it was bubbling, so it was time to come out. So now I'm just gonna let this cool off for a little bit because right now it'd probably be like eating liquid lava. And so we'll let it cool off and then we will dig in.